pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a roll call.
Mayor Hassler.
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Here.
Alderwoman Johnson. Alderman Donovan.
Here.
Alderman Jokers.
Here.
Alderman Eidman.
Here.
Alderman Rainey.
Here.
Alderman Prince.
Here.
Alderwoman Armbruster. Here. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Very good. Move for approval of the agenda.
Move approval.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Takes us down to our city administrator's report. First up, you've got an updated copy at your seat. But first, I want to introduce our new tourism director, Jeffrey Wicks. If you would stand, please. He's from Hardinsburg, Kentucky, where he's relocating here, but he's lived in Cape Girardeau, St. Louis, different areas around the country, and he has decided to stop in St. Genevieve now and be part of our community and do our tourism. So if you get a chance after the meeting, say hi. I don't know if you want to say anything or... Cool. You'll have a lot to say.
I like it. Yeah.
Some updated items that are on the report. MML's distributed a list of census numbers for cities in Missouri. St. Genevieve has increased to 4999. What I would like to say is we are calling Jeff Mr. 5000. So from here on out, he's going to get a T-shirt and everything.
Yeah, very good.
So we're up to 4418 in the 2010 census.
That's unprecedented.
What happened? Wow.
With supply chains running slow, we will be ordering some of our capital items early. Where usually we've kind of spread them out throughout the year. I'm concerned that we weren't going to get things when we thought we would get them. So
Yeah.
we'll be testing the waters early instead of waiting until middle budget year and just kind of seeing the way things are moving. Vehicles we know are going to be slow because we're still waiting on this year's budget vehicles coming in late this year. So just so you're aware of that. The tax reports came in today. Sales tax is up. Looks very good. It's up 18,000 over 2020, which was a very good year. So those are some good numbers. Transportation tax and capital improvement tax, they were up about $12,000 over 2020. The use tax was off, so people aren't ordering online as much as they were. So we're off about $20,000 from 2020, but compared to 2019, which was a normal year, we're up $9,000. So our revenue on sales taxes is looking good so far as we get closer to the end of the year. Does anybody have any questions?
Good. Very good. Thank you. Takes us to our staff reports, Gary.
Good evening.
Evening.
Let me get it pulled up. On my report, as you can see in front of you, we did some sweeping after storms. With them being early storms, there was a lot of leaves down in different areas. Patched potholes, poured a curb and installed a wall on a project at 9th and Washington. Mowing weed eat, worked on the old backhoe to get it going again. Worked on painting intersections, cleaned up after 2 storms. Put out and picked up barricades and trash cans for deer to fat. Put some big rocks around the sign at the wildlife refuge so nobody can back into it. Provided 1 man in a dump truck to help Alliance with the water line project. Painted soccer goals and put up nets and striped the soccer fields.
Any questions? I just wanted to comment on the job there at 9th and Washington. That was very nice. That's good there. That's good.
Well,
Gary, I had a call today about the length of the grass on the soccer field and around the soccer field. I mean, are we cutting it to normal?
the soccer fields get cut shorter. They get cut to 2.5.
Right, but that's normal.
Right.
Whatever they're cut now is normal.
Yep.
Okay. So we're saying some of the little kids were kind of having an issue, you know, getting around in there and moving the ball, but this is the same that it's always been.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, I mean, if that's in practice or, you know, it could be, yeah, it's at the higher point before it gets mowed.
Right,
But we, you know, we try to have it mowed by the weekends at that height, so.
right. Yeah, there was just about the length of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seemed taller or something, and I said, well, I'll ask tonight.
Yeah, no, we still mow it the same.
Okay.
Anything else?
Thank you. Thanks, David?
Good evening. You've got my report there. I just wanted to point out a few things. We did receive our grant reimbursement, $9,120. That was nice. So that's the same grant that we hope to apply for again this year. Building permit wise, permits are down. We had a fairly busy summer, but this past month dropped off a little bit. To get down to planning and zoning there, we did receive a rezoning application this week or late last week, so we do anticipate to have a planning and zoning meeting in October, and then that'll be headed your way afterwards if it is approved. We had a Board of Adjustment meeting late last month, and a variance was granted to a resident in St. Jude. And then just down there under property maintenance, under building code violations issues, one of those may be headed to a hearing, so I will keep you all informed. We just had someone who needs some work done and hasn't gotten it done. So it's near the end of that time period where he can perform it himself. Just wanted to give you a forewarning there. That's all I have. Unless you have any questions, yes.
Dave, concerning that Board of Adjustments and stuff, after that decision, was there any comments or concerns or?
The applicant came and we went back over everything that happened that night, and he has asked me, and he did that night too, to come out and measure it off for him, and I certainly will. Plans are to do that tomorrow. So
Right.
besides that, no comments. I think Happy mentioned that night, and I would reiterate that neighbors have 30 days to file with circuit court, but no one has called me about that decision.
That's not even a negative phone call about the decision?
Nope. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you. Kenny, unable to be here tonight, so any questions that we might be able to answer? They have his report. Haven't been by there, but how they doing on the paint job on the fire? Looks good.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Is it done?
Done.
Done, great, great.
That's the first time all the metal was painted since it was built.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's good. All righty. No other questions there. We'll go into our COVID discussion. We're still at a mask mandate here at City Hall. I think, watching the numbers, I just keep diligent. That's all we can do. So the numbers are still bouncing around. The daily total can be on the 7-day average anywhere from 0 to 14 over the last couple of weeks. So we're at 11 today. My opinion is we keep the mask requirement for City Hall and city offices for another 2 weeks. And wait and see if those numbers go back down. But it's hard to trace, but I think it's in the best interest of our employees and those that are visiting. Anything else on that? Very good. Takes us to any committee reports.
Park Board finally got to have a movie.
We finally had a movie.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we showed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse on the 26th of August. Ended up being a really great weather that evening. Thank you, Garrett, for your help bringing out the tables and everything. Seemed to go well. It's a little bit more of a demographic-specific movie, so smaller crowd, but I think they all enjoyed it. We've got another movie coming up on the 25th of this month. That'll be Wizard of Oz, so hopefully that'll be a nice classic to bring some people out. And then we'll have a meeting, I believe, Monday the 27th.
Still looking for 2 board members also.
Yep.
So,
Yep, 2 board members.
Still need to.
Thank you. Takes us to public comments. Is there any public comments? Gary?
I just got a couple more questions and some comments on the switch over with streets and parks. The big issue, as far as my people go, is the insurance. You know, we don't know any true numbers, but after talking with a couple of Alliance guys, they don't have the family insurance there. They have it through their spouse or through their wives, which I have 4 basically single parent dads that don't have that option, you know, and it's going to cost them a whole lot of money a month that they don't have that, you know, is there now. So, you know, it's going to be tough on them if they stay or if they can stay. I mean, they love the job, they love working for the city, but, you know, the insurance is the big deal. And then I have to have a question on the buyout of the vacations and the years of service. How is that figured in the budget?
So we've already got vacation planned, and it's already been worked into the audit itself.
To buy it out or to use it?
To use it. We'll have to probably amend the budget.
So then the buyout of that and the years of service amounts up to a fair amount of money, don't it?
It does, and I don't have those figures in front of me. Sue figured them up.
She told me 21,000.
Yeah.
So to me, that's an added expense above, you know, the difference on the contract, because it's money you wouldn't be spending if that didn't happen. You know, and that could, between that and the dollar amounts difference, could be a street of not paving a year.
Right. So it'd come out of the street and parks budget.
Years of service payout would come at some point anyway, right?
Right.
So whether it was this year or 5 years or whatever, you know.
Usually you hope
whatever.
somebody says that they're going to be doing that, and then you would plan it out. I'm going to
Yeah.
retire at the end of this year,
Yeah.
this budget year. and then we
But
get-
at some point, we would, at some
But it's-
fiscal year, we would expect to have to pay that out.
Right.
But it would still pay out right now, which to me is a cost because of that.
Yeah, I was just asking because right now my numbers, my calculations have Alliance coming in at $17,000 under budget compared to not going with Alliance. So I'm comparing those numbers, so.
Gary, are you talking about 2 different numbers? I mean, are you talking about the years of service as one amount and the vacation as a separate amount?
No, that's a combined amount.
Keep in mind, he's making public comments.
Right.
Really, I don't want to be talking back and forth, so.
Okay.
Gary, if you can finish up your comments, if the board wants to talk amongst yourselves, that's fine.
I believe that was it.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Any more comments on that to the board?
Just like that clarified if it's, you know, 2 different amounts, you know, so if it's over and above or, I mean, we pay out vacation pay every year, correct? To qualified
If
people.
somebody leaves and has the vacation time accrued, then yeah, we would pay it out. Otherwise, you're paying for vacation, but you're paying them for their salary, you're just not seeing them in a lump sum. It's throughout the year. And then somebody's filling their position instead of just paying it out in a total.
Right. And then the years of service is a separate amount.
That is separate. That has not been figured in.
Right, okay.
Any other questions? Any other public comments? No other public comments, we'll have to pass out some information before we approve the consent agenda.
Mayor, before we do approve the consent agenda, part of the consent agenda is the Community Access Cable TV Board. 2 other members are present. Can we give them time to speak if they need to before we just push it through the consent agenda? In case they have something to say.
Yeah, I don't see we have a problem with that. That's in the consent agenda? Yeah.
Yes.
There's also an ordinance,
There's an ordinance too that we can have them speak at too.
where we're renewing the contract with the TV station.
Okay.
So,
I have a quick question on or comment on the consent agenda. And as a precursor, I'm not trying to go against these street closures, but I do have some wonder if we need to consider a future policy about communication to the downtown businesses about street closures. So there's 3 street closures that would take place on Market Street, and there's a logistical nightmare downtown sometimes because of the one-way streets. You go down Market and up Merchant. So part of me wonders if we create issues when we close down a portion of Market and you can't get to the lower end of Merchant that way without diverting to residential traffic streets, either Gabourey or Jefferson Street. And Jefferson Street is so narrow. And this is going to be 3 out of 4 weeks in a row that Market's going to be closed. These events are already in planning, so I have no intent to try to disrupt this, but I wonder if we need to consider something in the future about a policy on street closures, or a plan for notifying, how the business, because I think at a previous event when there was a street closure, a newer event, that some people still felt like they didn't know or weren't aware of it. Some residents down on Main Street, I think business is pretty well new on Merchant, but who would inform businesses and residents? How would they be informed to make sure that traffic is as decent as possible? It's tough down there, but so just a comment, but I don't have a solution for it now. I just wanted to bring it up in case we can think about it in the future.
I think it's got to be good communication and you're right, so it's kind of got mundane, is what we do, so.
Well, and
So I
the last
understand.
thing I want to do is discourage anybody from wanting to have
Yeah.
an event and entertainment down here.
Yeah.
Like these events, they're going to be fun. These
Yeah.
businesses and organizations have put a lot of work into them.
And they bring visitors to town too, that
Yeah.
spend money, and that's our
Yeah, and
goal,
I just wonder sometimes, especially with the visitors, because the maps and stuff will take them down one way, and I know we have issues with people turning down Merchant Street already. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up for us to consider in the future.
is a good topic to discuss.
work session topic.
Work session topic. Anybody else want to comment on the consent agenda?
Mayor.
Okay.
You second it?
Yes.
Okay. First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, thank you very much. Takes us to old business. This is bill number 4448, first reading, an ordinance approving an additional memorandum of agreement with Alliance Water Resources Incorporated, a Missouri corporation, to modify the initial professional service agreement dated August 12, 2010, adding streets, parks, management, and personnel.
Let me just say before you do anything else is that under one of your whereases, so it was originally $458,280, or $38,190 per month. It is now $419 or $34,917 per month. So those are the whereases. It's not down below. So you have the updated memorandum. But just so you know that up in the whereas section, it is not accurate because it was tabled.
Michael?
Can we have discussion briefly before we make any motion?
Yes.
Okay, so we were asked, you asked, if we had recommendations or any kind of a list of recommendations for the department as it currently exists?
Yes.
Did you received, I know you received,
Yeah.
because we discussed, did you receive any additional?
None.
None, okay. So my question on that front then is,
I don't know, Kathy, did you receive anything?
No.
Okay.
so of that, let's say that those are the only items. Of those items, what's feasible, what has been discussed about implementing any of that, or have we had those discussions?
Well, personally, I wasn't going to do anything until we decided what we're going to do here. It would be a moot point if the board decides to go with Alliance to implement
Okay.
anything. You know, everything that was brought to my attention absolutely could be talked about and
Okay.
dealt with.
Okay.
But until we make a decision which way we're going to go, I don't,
Okay.
I hope you understand.
No, I do. I committed to asking that question for myself and for somebody, on somebody else's behalf, so I just want to follow through with that commitment, and with that, I'm good.
Do you have any other comments you want to make?
Just to confirm my math, comparing the line items of the sheets that have been provided with us. So looking at the sheet without Alliance, it's 515 and then 515,000 in the capital improvements item, and 495,000 in the contract with Alliance. So that's a $20,000 to add to streets. But if I add $20,000 to streets with Alliance, and we maybe make that motion during, when we go out to bids and stuff, my math works out to Alliance being a cost savings of $17,228 based on these budgets.
Thank you.
Between both departments, streets and parks.
My understanding is that nobody disputes that number.
Agreed.
Okay.
Are we looking for a
Looking
motion?
for a motion.
Well, I'd like to move in favor of voting for bill number 4448.
Second.
We have a second?
Well, it would be moving in favor of that with the revised numbers.
In the whereas.
in the
Right.
Third whereas.
Right.
The lower amounts, right?
What he
Yes,
said.
yes, sir. That's my intention. Do you need me to say that?
Yeah, so I think your motion, I just want to make sure the record's clear, that your motion is to approve the first reading by title of the ordinance with the changes of the two numbers that Happy indicated earlier.
That is my intent.
And I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Make a motion for a second reading on bill number 4448.
We do that with,
Did we do our first reading? Did you actually, I mean, we just.
we tabled the
Wait, we
first.
haven't just, well, I guess we had a first reading at the last meeting.
Right.
So this would be the motion for the second.
Again,
Real quick, do we need the second in order to pursue the budget ordinance?
In my opinion, we do, so that you can adopt one budget or the other, otherwise we're left up in the air.
And
If you don't, then we need to table the budget, then we just need to postpone the budget until the next
And
meeting.
then we're cutting close to our October 1st start date.
Right.
Gotcha. I will second in that case.
Okay, you have a first and a second for a second reading. Bill number 4448, an ordinance approving an additional memorandum. Well, first of all, we agreed to a second reading. All in favor of the second reading?
Aye.
Very good.
No.
One opposed. So, the second reading of Bill number 4448, an ordinance approving additional memorandum of agreement with Alliance Water Resources Incorporated, Missouri Corporation, to modify the initial professional service agreement dated August 12, 2010, adding streets, parks, management, and personnel.
Are we going to do a roll call?
You gotta do a motion to approve.
Oh, motion to approve.
Second.
Now we have a roll call.
Alderman Smith.
Yes.
Alderman Donovan.
Yes.
Alderman Jokers.
No.
Alderman Eidman.
Yes.
Alderman Rainey.
Yes.
Alderman Prince.
Yes.
Alderwoman Armbruster.
Yes.
6 yes, 1 no, 1 absent. Bill number 4448 now becomes ordinance 4368.
Thank you very much. Takes us to new business, Bill number 4449, an ordinance amending section 105.030, declaration of candidacy, dates for filing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the first reading of Bill number 4450, an ordinance approving a budget amendment to the City of St. Genevieve for the fiscal year 2021 budget relating to various revenue and expenditure increases.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Takes us to Bill number 4451, an ordinance of the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Genevieve, Missouri, approving the annual budget for fiscal year 2022 and approving an effective date.
So before anybody makes a motion, you will be approving Exhibit A. And you left that blank because we had to have two different budgets.
Right.
So that's the with Alliance budget is Exhibit A.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Takes us to first reading of Bill number 4452, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement between the City of St. Genevieve and the St. Genevieve Community Access Television Board, Channel 990-991.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And FYI on that, we will have to make a change for the next meeting because we've got under section 1D, we put 2021 instead of September 1st, 2022. So the report would be next year.
Okay.
Very good.
We don't need the same report again. We appreciate it though.
All right. Yeah. Takes us to Bill number 4453, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a proposal for professional services with Cochran Engineering for the water main replacement, 4th Street from Roberts Street to Washington Street and Main Street Creek Crossing.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Any other business? We don't need to go on the closed session. We do? Okay. All right. At this time, we're going to go into closed session for,
We have two reasons. We're really only needing to do one, which is legal actions, litigation, authorized by section 610.021.1 of the Missouri statutes. Motion and a second.
We're not doing personnel.
No, okay, we're not doing it.
Motion to go into closed session. Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Sure they finish their snacks.
Anybody out there?
There's a couple guys out there. I don't know if they're planning to come in, I just told them we're in open session.
Well, if there's no other business, we'll call this meeting adjourned.
Don't work.